Hello everybody, Taz here from Melius Consulting. Hope you're doing really well. Another video coming to you from the wonderful Sri Lanka. If you saw my video yesterday, it was a little bit sunnier. You can see that looming overhead, so it looks like the heavens are about to open up. So we'll make this a quick one and then we'll head back inside. I'm here running a series of programs for senior leaders within a couple of clients, and one of the topics we've been talking about this week, which has really generated some fascinating discussion, is around unconscious bias, and particularly about why unconscious bias is critical for leaders to tackle within their organizations and then set the correct behaviors and culture within the organization so it permeates through, and how that sort of tackling unconscious bias can have a direct impact on bottom line, because of course it can. One of the questions that I was asked fairly regularly during the multiple sessions that I ran was, how do we take bias from unconscious to conscious? And it's an interesting question, isn't it? The simplest way, and I don't know if there is another way, the simplest way is really to become very aware of your internal voice. I think most of us, if we were to pause, if we were to take a moment, if we were to maybe be honest with ourselves, we would know when we're being biased, right? We hear the voice, and our normal behavior is just to act in the way that we've always acted, right? So we hear the bias and then we act. And I think the way to move it from unconscious to conscious is to hear the voice and then to take a pause. Then to take a pause to recognize that that is the moment at which your natural biases creep in, that you may be inclined to move in a certain direction. And then to take that pause and then to ask yourself whether the direction you're choosing is based on the bias that you have, whether there is any real validity to that bias, and then to determine your course of action. And I think if we make that a habit, then a lot of our unconscious biases become conscious. The next time you hear that bias, and of course, it's not going to go away after one attempt of trying, it will re-emerge. The next time you hear that bias, the process of becoming aware of it, being aware of it, will be that much faster, right? So the first time it may take a little bit of effort to say, hold on a second, that might not be correct. I think the second time, the third time, the fourth time, it'll become much easier. Thereafter, it'll become natural, and therefore the unconscious has moved into the conscious. So that's how I know when I'm tackling my own biases. That's my method. I try to take a pause. And of course, the most critical thing is how we act on our bias. So it's not just simply about having the bias and becoming aware of it, but it's then determining potentially a different course of action because you are now aware of the bias and you choose a different path. All right, so there you go. That's how you move your unconscious bias to conscious, and most importantly, how you pause before taking action. Hope that's been useful. It's Friday. Hope you've had an amazing week. I wish you a wonderful weekend ahead, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.